In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to be a worldwide traveler and still create art on the go. So I'm going to show you all of my sculpting essentials, as well as throw in some content creating tools that I use while I'm out traveling to still get the content done and follow my dreams, but get to see the world and experience new cultures at the same time. Currently, I'm in Rio Grande, Puerto Rico, which is by El Yunque National Rainforest, so you will be hearing a lot of animals, including chickens. They do not stop squawking. They did it all night. I barely slept. So I'm going to be in Puerto Rico for about a month, and I really wanted to dive into my cultura and get influences from around me and try to pull that into my art to create new pieces. So since I love the beach so much and Puerto Rico has the most beautiful beaches, I'm going to take full advantage while I'm here. Typically the first step in creating a sculpture is using an armature base. So I brought some aluminum crafting wire. It comes in different sizes as far as the thickness of the wire. So this wire here is typically what I use because I like to use the thickest one. I think this is about 3 millimeters. And then I use this thinner wire to create the eyelashes on my visionary women. And I think it's just perfect because I don't have to try to sculpt lashes. The wire does it for me. In order to create the armatures, I typically use a drill back home. So if you find a cute little drill that you can bring on the go, or maybe the Airbnb you're staying at has a drill, it would be helpful, but it's also not necessary. I just use it to combine the wires and twist them in to create a stronger base. But I highly recommend getting a little kit that has these pliers and different cutters so that you can snip the wire to the length that you need it and also bend the wires to create your armature base. So when I pack all of these items, I put most of them in this packing cube. So they're not just good for clothes, guys. They're good for your art materials as well. And I have all of my clay here. I just made sure to have it all ordered to my house before I took off on the plane. I recently found this mat on Amazon. I know this sounds like an Amazon ad, but it's not. It's really not. And it is a crafting mat. Look how thin. It's like a silicone mat that's perfect to put on the table anywhere you're traveling in order to sculpt your pieces and not dirty up your Airbnb, okay? Because we don't want those extra fines. And you could just roll it into a little tube and you're set to go. Granted, you could roll it a little tighter than this, but it comes with a little band for both sides. It's super compact and travel friendly. We'd love to see it. The second step I use is aluminum foil, which I compact onto the aluminum wire base to kind of shape out my sculpture. So if I'm doing a visionary woman, I kind of shape out where her top half is gonna be, her butt, her thighs, her arms. And actually you need a lot more aluminum foil than you think because it'll save you clay in the long run. I've been learning that as I've been making my sculptures. I could have bulked it out a lot more and prevented myself from using so much clay and doing so much correction later. Fun little tip for you if you're interested in creating sculptures. So this is a tip I saw from a sculpting artist on YouTube. I'll put his name right here. I watched a few of those videos and that's how I got interested in doing sculptures in the first place. And I'm loving it. I think that's the direction I really want to go in. I just think it's so fun. It's like being a kid again and playing with Play-Doh, but you're creating more permanent pieces, and I still get to incorporate the painting that I love to do as well. It's just putting all my passions into one. From going from a wire, guys, a wire to a whole sculpture, it's pretty insane to see, and I just love it. So my next essential, I love this clay so much, okay? Because it helps me start to really shape out my visionary woman and start to cover up that aluminum foil and make it super compact. And it is the Super Sculpey Ultra Light Oven Bake Clay. Yes. I personally love using the oven bake clay because I do not work fast. There's some artists that like, I don't know how they do it. Even with paintings, they're like boom, boom, pow. In a few hours, they're done with a whole piece and they're huge pieces. Props to them, but that is just not me as an artist. And it doesn't have to be perfect because this clay is kind of like a putty consistency. So when you start to mold certain aspects of the piece, it kind of puts a lot of fingerprints in it. It's a little bit harder to smooth out. But if you kind of leave it out over time a bit, you're able to smooth it out a bit more and leave less fingerprints in the putty. After I go through with the lightweight clay, I go ahead and bake that. So I have my shape ready to go. And the next clay is my favorite because that's what really is the final piece. And I can put all the details on it. The clay I've been using is the Super Sculpting Living Doll clay. This is what it looks like. It's kind of hard to source sometimes, but I typically get all of my materials on Amazon just because it's quicker. And if I'm working on a piece and I run out of clay, I gotta get speedy with it because I wanna go ahead and bake it and I don't wanna leave the clay out too long. Although the oven baked clay doesn't harden like air dried clay, I still don't wanna leave it out forever because it just makes the clay harder to work with. It starts to harden a bit. So it's just something to consider. The Super Sculpting Living Doll clay is semi-translucent, smooth blending, and perfect for fine detail, which I would 100% agree with as far as the claim on the packaging. As I've started to work with the Super Sculpting clay a lot more, it is a bit hard to work with at the beginning, so I highly recommend, I just purchased this so I actually haven't used it yet, but getting blades to cut the clay into blocks so that when you start to work with them, the warmth of your hands will soften it. But to rip off the clay at first, like I would try to twist it or like use my nail, strip it off, and honestly it just ends up hurting your hands a lot after a while, especially because when I work with the clay, I work for quite a few hours at a time. To give your hands a break, make sure to get a blade to slice it. And this kit came with different sizes and also came with different scoring tools. And of course, once you start working that clay in your hands and getting it all warm and soft, you can go in with these acrylic rolling pins, and it comes with a little wood board, which is great for traveling because it is tiny and does not weigh a lot because, you know, the luggage prices can get crazy if they're overweight, let me just say. So yeah, I have a whole bunch of different sizes in this little kit. The kits are really inexpensive on Amazon. It was maybe $10 to $15, you know? Not too shabby for getting to use them pretty much forever. So as we're going in and trying to finalize the sculpture and going in to do those tiny details and get in all those nook and crannies, I love using tools like this. The little ball tools, they're dual-ended and they have different sizes. This is pretty dirty because I've been working with it for a sculpture back home and I have not cleaned them off yet. You see how tiny these little balls are. And it's perfect for when you're trying to mesh the pieces of clay together and just make it all one cohesive look. These for me are everything. Besides, of course, using your God-given hands. The hands really bring it all together. This is where the creation truly happens. So thank you. Thank you to my manos, my hands. Now that we have our sculpture looking all beautimous and like a work of art, a masterpiece, revolutionary, iconic, we're gonna go ahead and bake it. Bake it in the oven. Hopefully your Airbnb has an oven, because if not, that's an issue. Make sure your Airbnb has an oven, okay? Otherwise, it's not gonna work, especially if you use oven-baked clay. Just saying. As you're letting this baby cook, you wanna be checking in on the sculpture and make sure that there's no cracking happening. I think it's best to kind of see how it bakes halfway through and kind of check in, because you can use liquid Sculpey clay, and this can be used to fill the cracks, And then you have to bake this for about 15 minutes. It allows it to be one cohesive piece and hopefully no more cracking happens. I've also found that if you feel like you've baked your clay a little bit too much and you don't want to put it again in fear that it'll crack in other places, using a thick white gesso paint, because typically the cracks aren't that deep anyways, using that as a base layer of paint before you go in with your actual finishing touches helps to fill in those cracks and make it all seamless when you go to do your detailing. Now that the sculpture is all baked and beautiful and she is cooled down, okay, we can move on to the painting part of the sculpture. This is a kit I absolutely love. Super inexpensive, compact, has everything that you would need to paint the sculpture on the go. It is a kit by Arteza. Don't really know how to pronounce it. I always want to say Aritzia, like the clothing store. That's simply not it. And it has every color that you would need to do mixing with to create new colors, of course, using the color theory. We have the painting palette right here, and it comes with a mixing tool to mix all your paints together to get the perfect shade. These 3 different brushes, and of course, if you need a more detailed brush, a smaller one, or even a bigger one to cover a bigger surface, you could get a little tiny kit of paint brushes that are travel size as well. Now that I showed you all my sculpting tools and materials, I'm going to show you all my content creation items that are essential for me to do videos just like this, remotely, anywhere in the world. First things first, my camera that I'm using right now. It's a Canon M200, and it has a viewfinder, which is essential for me. You have to be able to see what you're doing if your camera conks out, like all important things. And then I have a mini tripod that my friend gave me. It's literally like this thick. I'll put a little picture here because it's on my camera. And it has like the little bendy legs. And currently my camera's popped up on a book in a window, hanging on for dear glory. But that little tripod is perfect for if you're going to a cafe to record. If you're just like out and about, you can hold it as a tripod like this to film yourself and then set it up in any location. It is incredible. I think it's a few bucks. My second essential for content creating is my Blue Yeti microphone, which I'm also using to film this video. And I have a little muff on top of it to make sure that it kind of blocks out some of the external sounds. So hopefully it's doing its work today as we are in the countryside and everybody's working and doing all the things outside as I record. If you're gonna be really heavy into content creation and vlogging, I recommend you get a camera that allows an external mic hookup, because mine does not, which is why I bring the Blue Yeti. And it's like 4 or 5 pounds, so that adds up in your luggage. Just consider that when you're deciding on cameras. And because I have to bring my beloved Blue Yeti, she needs to travel safely. So I purchased this traveling case, and it has this foam insert that is perfectly cut out to fit the mic, and this little pocket here where I put the cord that hooks up my mic to my tablet to record the audio. It is perfect. It is big though. It does take up space, but I need it, okay? Say you're a TikToker. You gotta get that content vertically and horizontally, if you know what I mean. This tripod loves it, loves it. All you have to do is push this button at the bottom and it opens up the legs. Let me push it again. Whoa. And you pull this straight up. It has the little phone thingamajig. Hold on a second, I'm struggling. Whoa, whoa. Phone hookup, attach your phone like this, and you're ready to create all the TikToks to go viral, have your art be seen by millions, and do what you love most, create. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful to see the types of materials and tools that I bring along on my trips as a traveling artiste. And of course, if you're a traveler like me, let me know in the comments below where I should go next. I'm open to any suggestion. I want to see as much of the world as possible so that I can gain all this inspiration and see how it transforms my art. So drop it in the comments because I'm trying to plan my 2024 trips. Right now, I have Greece in the books. If you're interested in seeing some of my surreal art, staying up to date on my travels, be sure to give me a follow on my social media pages. You can catch me on Instagram and TikTok, and of course, YouTube. So be sure to subscribe. Hit it, bell notification. And if you would like to shop some surreal art, I'll have it in the description below. My website, evocaholic.com. I sell art prints, stickers, and many more to come. I hope you guys have a beautiful and blessed day. I'll see you on the next video. Peace out.